All right, let's get to the MCG last night. This was quite phenomenal. This is the sort of stuff that you'll watch over and over again.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Sitting on the couch watching this game like most people, and Darcy Moore makes the mistake here. So the Cats are coming. They've been behind for the best part of 2.5 quarters. They jumped the pies. As we know, this young man was fantastic. Dempsey kicked the goal, almost took mark of the year early on. And then Dangerfield. We'll talk about him in a moment, but that last quarter was fantastic. He nails that, and then all of a sudden, it is open floods for Geelong. They are just doing everything. Everything they touch turns to gold. They kick another one there through Bowes, and the lead is out to what seems like Collingwood can't get back. Then Mycheck takes a couple of big clunks and kicks two. And as we know, that Jack Crisp, breaking Jim Steine's record, had the big chance at the end. And here's Mycheck again getting back. This is a 50-metre penalty. And all of a sudden you think, how could they do it? Can they do it? You know Collingwood get into these situations. And Nick Dacos pulled himself out towards half forward. They go forward, and the moment was set up for Jack Crisp late in the game. But unfortunately, the ball went to the left. Geelong win, but what a game of football it was.
Well delivered there, Browny. It was an outstanding last quarter. It was a brilliant game, a game of momentum, TJ. And you walk away last night saying, I hope these two teams can make it to top four, and be deep in September because they're that good.
It was a last quarter for the ages, wasn't it, TJ?
Yeah.
And the tension was apparent for the entirety of it. And part of that was heightened when there was a goal review after a Lachie Schultz kick-out goal. You can see the score, you can see the time remaining, and to the naked eye, it appeared to go through, despite Mark Bussav claiming he touched it. Now, the boundary umpire comes in to reassure the goal umpire in his assessment that it was touched. That was the soft call. It went to the review, and there was nothing to see, what I saw anyway, on the review to suggest that it was touched, but because it was a soft call, it was deemed to be a point. And just to sign off on this particular issue, Mark Bussav did post-match, TJ, say that he did touch it, despite him acknowledging that the video didn't seem to necessarily back that up. So it was just a part of the quarter, but it actually made for it in the end.
Yeah, and there was another pivotal part,
There was, TJ, and I think the umpire got this one right. One of the great chase downs you'll ever see. Bobby Hill, this will be shown in the video tomorrow, and say this is what wins premierships, big moments like this. Sean Manor didn't see him coming. They're disappointed here, but I think the tackle does slip down and he does leg in Rory in that situation.
Great composure from the umpire. If you think that's a legitimate free kick, to not get caught up, that was so incredibly loud there last night. To not get caught up in the whole hysteria of the game and just pay that one as holding the ball it's a pretty big call from the umpire, but the right one, as you said.
And Sean Matter's going to be joining us a little later on too, so we'll ask him about it.
Paddy Dangerfield?
Paddy Dangerfield's last quarter was unbelievable. It's not the first time he's done it this year too. He did it against the Crows in Gather Round, where he just said, come along for the ride, everyone, and he put this club on his shoulders, and he was a raging bull in that last quarter. His contested work was unbelievable. His forward pressure, which was something they lacked all last night, was outstanding. His ability to finish this goal at a clutch moment when they needed the captain the most it was just clutch, as I said. But for me, it was his pressure, his energy around those contests to keep that ball inside their forward 50 in that last quarter. Outstanding quarter from Paddy.
Now, you've been trying to text him this morning. Danger, can you reply to Rory's text?
He's probably a bit stiff and sore. He's probably in the ocean, but no, he might appear later in the show in a special segment.
How many more years do you think? Hopefully his hamstrings stand up, but it's unbelievable. The explosive nature that he has at that age. I just wanted Lee Matthews, didn't he? Went late in his career. Was like a full forward. I hope he can go for another 3 years playing this way, because he added another dimension to Geelong.
Well, Todd Goldstein is going to be joining us on the handball a little later on, and we might ask him about the longevity factor in the AFL at the moment, because you're seeing it with Scott Pendlebury, Steele Sidebottom.
Dane Zorko.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not a young man's game necessarily.
It's not, and I want to put Jordan De Goey on the agenda, because he could be the difference between winning and losing this premiership. Last night, I don't think he's fully fit, so I've never seen Jordan De Goey as flat as what he was last. He doesn't have the zip. Here again, got a player right on him. And this is an interrupted pre-season, as he's had, but just have a look at this one where he doesn't have that burst of speed that we've seen of Jordan De Goey in the past. Run down a lot, didn't have much influence, and then this last one in the last quarter, they put him into the middle, but he just couldn't go with Bailey Smith. Probably the wrong matchup when Bailey Smith can run as what he does. Patrick Dangerfield takes the mark here, but if he doesn't take the mark, Bailey Smith's there, 10 metres in front of Jordan De Goey. Now, Jordan De Goey, just about my favourite player in full flight in the competition. So, 2018 Jordan De Goey, unstoppable. 2023, the grand final and the final series, unstoppable again. Just thinking that I'm watching him, and can you get fitness playing a game when you're sore at the moment, and he looks sore. Do they need to go, OK, we're going to put a 4 to 6 week block where Jordan De Goey doesn't play AFL football and he just trains the house down, gets fully fit, back end of the year, you've got a fully fit Jordan De Goey, unleash him on finals. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's already a premiership player. He's already a star of the competition. But him fully fit could be the difference between Collingwood winning and not winning a premiership.
Wouldn't you love to know? I think there's merit in what you're saying, Browny, but what he does as a 24/7 professional, because we've just had Marcus Bontempelli come back from, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks out.
First 5, yeah.
And he is playing like someone, like a man possessed, like he hasn't missed a beat. So,
but I think we all know Jordan De Goey and Marcus Bontempelli are very different in what they do and how they present
but
themselves.
But is that why? But he shouldn't need, should he need a month off? Is it because maybe he doesn't train to a level? I look from afar and go, is this a guy that trains to a level of the elite?
Well, for Collingwood to win the premiership, I believe he does need that time off to get himself fully fit. I think if Collingwood allow him to play, he's not going to be the player that he needs to be. Look, he might come good at the back end of the year, but I'd love him to be fresh and fully fit because he looks heavy and he looks like he's playing with some sort of injury at the moment that's not allowing him full flight.
I think what Lord is saying is, like, even in pre-season, if you are injured, that time in rehab you can use so well. And we've seen so many examples of it over the years where guys in rehab for long periods of time come back really fit and healthy, and it's all about your choices you're making there.
All right, the narrative today will focus largely on Bailey Smith. In fact, I reckon for the next few days.
Yeah, it might, TJ. He was huge again. He's having an extraordinarily good season in his first as a Cat. And last night played in front of 82,500 people. The reference you're about to hear is that his former club played at Ballarat in front of 4,800 people.
How good's it, 82,000 versus Collingwood on a Saturday night at the G? How good's that?
It's beautiful, mate. Not getting that at Ballarat, so...
So, look, minor in its isolation, but this is unusual in itself. On Channel 7's Sunrise program this morning, the captain of the Western Bulldogs, Marcus Bontempelli, has returned fire.
Have to say in reply to that.
I mean, it's nice to know, we're still on Bailey's mind. He's still thinking about us, even at another team. And, in the end, there's probably a few less people down in Ballarat for him to flip the bird to. So maybe that's why he's a little bit disappointed. But it makes round 11 even more interesting, which I think we'll all be looking forward to.
All of us are looking forward to Thursday night, May 22. Round 11 to open.
Can I ask you, the heartburn between him and it's real, isn't it?
Yeah, it is real.
I don't think he left on the best of terms there.
No, he didn't. He made his mind up a long time before the official transaction period last year to get to Geelong. And, he had a knee injury, as we know, last year that kept him out of playing. But he has rubbed them up the wrong way, so to speak. And it could be happening again with Jamarra Ugle-Hagan. That's a separate story. But he's probably the most US style of athlete we've got in the AFL system, isn't he? He's embracing everything. He's happy to comment. He's getting himself involved with fan interactions, with the double bird motion.
Do you like it, Damo?
I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that Marcus Bontempelli has played into it himself as well, because that's sort of almost like a character.
It's great theatre. It's great theatre. I just wish Bailey Smith would do more media because he's so damn good at it.
Yeah, he is.
We saw him when he sort of faced all the cameras over in the gather round after flipping the bird. It was terrific the way he defended or at least tried to justify why he did that because of what Patrick Dangerfield was going through. What else took your fancy there last night?
Damo, Reece Stanley, how long is he going to be out for? And do they have backup? Because Conway's been injury interrupted as well.
That is the problem for them, Lordo. Yeah, look, he's been so crucial to them. A premiership ruckman and someone who got them on a roll again in the wins they've had this season. Was taken out last night. And as you know, Lordo, there's a difference between covering for Reece Stanley, as Mark Blitzarves and Neil did last night, within a game, as opposed to preparing to play a stretch of matches without him. So it will be an issue.
All right.